Penfold.
Steve Penfold.
Majo, levanta la guía, porfa.
Day 2, task 2. Hopefully today will go better than yesterday. As you can see, the takeoff window is already opened and people are taking off. There's quite a few people already in the sky, and you will notice that I'm not there yet. I'm not even got my trainers on yet. I've got my flip-flops. I've got my injury from yesterday. It's not called extreme sports for nothing, you know. Darren Brown Extreme Sports. So let's go find out why I'm not ready yet.
Okay, so we've just launched task 2. It's a weekday to begin with, so I'm not expected to get much above ridge height, to be honest. Okay, hopefully there's a climb here for us. It's much quieter than yesterday, which is pleasant.
Okay then, let's talk tactics. So, voila.
Great!
So, the first start window today, there's 3 start gates, one at 20 past 3, one at 3:40 and one at 4 o'clock. And the forecast is due to get better later. Now the start of the task is this. We're here and the start of the task involves flying this way to here to the gap that you see me jumping before, and then back to the village courser, but there's a bigger radius on it so we can actually stick on the ridge. And then the difficult part, we have to go over the back, over the GURP here, which you've seen before. I've been very low on it, can be very difficult, particularly on a day like today when the cloud base is not as high, it's more stable, it's more difficult to stay up. So this is my thought. If I'm one of the first people, race down here, back, jump over the gap, one of the first people, I've got nobody to show me the way over the back, and I'm looking for those thermals. Yes, I would get the lead points, but I'm struggling perhaps to stay up in the difficult conditions, and I couldn't end up on the floor again, which might happen anyway, but you never know. However, if I take the second or even the third start gate, so if I start, this is the start here, if I start at either 3:40 or 4 o'clock, I can still race along the ridge and back, but when I go over the back here, there will be people ahead of me who've taken earlier start gates, and then I can use their thermals. I can come in over the top of them and they will mark where the thermals are for me, so they will make that easier, and they'll make it easier for me to fly faster across those parts. So my tactics today really involve taking off a little bit later, not too late, but I'll be getting ready shortly, taking off a little bit later and taking either the second or maybe even the third start gate, so that I've got people ahead of me when it comes to jumping over the back of the hill, which is that way, and then I've got people to help mark those thermals. So that's my tactics for the day. I had good tactics yesterday, I thought, and they didn't work, so perhaps these won't either. Who knows? But we're going to give it a go, and I'll see you in the air.
I'm okay. You're green. Everyone?
Right. So, we're airborne on the second task. Quite windy. I've had a report from the air, from Steve, that the conditions are better than yesterday. Also that most people have just taken the first start. So it's 20 minutes to the next start. What I need to do is get up high before then. So I'll switch you off to conserve the battery, and I'll put it back on when I'm doing something more interesting. So I've taken the second start and just got the first waypoint, which involved just flying down the ridge to the gap and then on the way back again. A lot of people have been stopping to thermal along the way. I haven't thermaled the entire way yet, I'm just trying to soar the cliffs. Much faster, you don't have to stop, because every time you thermal, you're going the opposite direction to where you want to go. So I'm just making the most of soaring where I can. On the way to closer to the west end now. So I've taken the second turn point, going over the back at 7,000 feet. Clouds are a long way away, which does not bode well, so hopefully we'll find some thermals before we get to them. Let's see what happens. So we found a climb over the back. Up to 6,500 feet. The whole gaggle is here. So the trick now is to try and be in the best part of the climb to gain height under the people. But they're all trying to do the same to me. So this is about thermaling skills. Going up about 400 feet a minute at the moment. While ever it's going up, I'm going to carry on. Right, we're going to leave this thermal now. We're going to press on. I've lost you. Have you pressed on? I've lost you, Steve. Where have you gone? Set off, have you? Press. had a monster climb. I forgot to turn you on, I was too busy concentrating, sorry. And we're at 1.2 kilometres away from the next point, which is over Talan, military base, which is down there. Sorry, down there. So, 800 metres and then I'll be turning right, flying over the lake. I've got Steve with me again. And this has been a good flight so far, I've enjoyed this one. Much better conditions than yesterday. Nearly at the waypoint. Got the waypoint. So now we head for the next one, which is that way. Right, I'll give you a shout when something happens. So I'm almost at the Arabella turn point. I'm getting massively sucked out. Need a thermal. To the top point now. Got the turn point. Now I need to get high before trying to get the last turn point because I'm going to be into it. Let's try and find a thermal again. Here we go. So I need an 11 to 1 glide to go. And I'm going for it. Bit of a risk because I'm into wind. There's some good thermal triggers out here. So I'm hoping it's going to work. All I've got to do is get to the hills in front above the top and I'll make it. Just passing up a climb there. Getting good air at the moment. Good air means it's fairly buoyant, I'm not sinking on too much. Glide angle has improved, it's now 10 to 1. That's the glide angle required has improved, which tells me I'm currently making it. I do need to come in on top of these hills or I could be in trouble. 9.5 required to go now. clear, masses of lift. Going fast now. Section. Woohoo! Made it. That was a fast final glide. Was that you up my arse? Few gliders here already, and some of those will have taken the first start and we took the second. Nice smooth landing. Try not to land on top of me. So all the little gambles we took during that flight, all the getting low and thinking I'm going to make it and flying fast at certain points because it looked like it was good ahead, it all paid off today and we got here. We have got to goal. Woohoo! Got low a couple of times, as you saw. Got low at a bella over those rocks and I was thinking, oh no, but thankfully got back up again and did a final glide into goal where I was about 50 miles an hour on my final glide into goal and got here. I could have gone faster actually because I had a little bit of height to burn off when I got here, so note to self, go a little bit faster next time, but it was quite turbulent because of thermals, so I had to sort of go slow enough to be able to control it. But really pleased with that flight. We'll find out whether my tactics of taking the second start gate paid off. What did help was when we saw gliders ahead of us climbing, it gave us the confidence to fly faster to get there. So hopefully that will have paid off in that we'll have been faster than other gliders that went there without having that advantage. But of course, those gliders that went there first will have got lead points, but have we beaten them on time points? That's the point. So me and Steve, we flew together throughout the whole course. What do you think, Steve?
Top day. All in all, a very top day.
Yeah.
We may not have flown the fastest, but I think we flew as fast as we can.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Don't think we personally could have done much better. Really enjoyed that flight. Cracking. Nice flying with you again. Okay, let's quickly debrief that flight and see how it went. As I talked about at the beginning, the tactic that me and Steve employed was to take the second start gate, and we actually came 7th and 8th in that task. So I was 7, Steve was 8, but we were 3 seconds apart from each other, so we were really close the whole flight. So what worked for us and what didn't? So we initially did that the run along the cliffs without turning, so that worked fine. And then when we went over the back and into the GURP area where we had to start thermaling, we had a load of gliders ahead of us that we could then pimp off and use their thermal, so we could see ahead of us that gliders were thermaling, which gave us the confidence to fly really fast to get to those gliders and go up. So that worked in terms of making us fast. And most of those gliders that we could see ahead were actually ones that had taken the first start gate, and we were overtaking them. We ended up, as I say, 7th and 8th, but our speeds, we were the 3rd and 4th fastest people around the course. Now you might ask yourself, if you were the 3rd and 4th fastest people around the course, why didn't you come 3rd and 4th? And the reason behind that is something called lead points. So when you spend time during the course actually in the lead of other people, actually in the lead of the whole flight, then you gather these lead points, and basically it's a way of rewarding those people that take the risk of going first. So the people who were ahead of us, most of them, not all of them, but most of the people ahead of us had got a lot more lead points because they had gone in that first gaggle. So they flew fast and they took the risk. So well done to them. We've actually been discussing whether we should have taken the first start and got those lead points for ourselves. If we'd have managed to stay with that lead gaggle and taken those points with them, then we might have done better in terms of our position. I'm not really sure. There's also some bits where certainly I made some mistakes which could have drastically increased the speed. So you saw at the end there I got fairly low around the Abella turn point, and I'd spend time working my way back up again, and I was a little bit worried because I thought I was not going down, but pretty close to getting really low at that point. So I wasted 3 or 4 minutes working my way back up again, whereas immediately before that, the glide before, me and Steve had both got really strong thermals, and if I had taken that thermal higher, then I could have just glided all the way to the Abella turn point and all the way back into goal without stopping and taking the most direct route. So that would have easily saved us 3 or 4 minutes. So I reckon that we could have gained on time considerably more. So that was a mistake that we both made. I made it worse than Steve, but that was a way that we could have improved our timings on there. But nevertheless, I got 7th position on that flight, really pleased. It's increased my overall standing to 16th from 33 the other day, so that's good, and we'll see what today brings.